Hey everybody, how you doing? My name's Will, and I'm with Menor Serenity Haven, and currently we are in Menor, Ohio. So what I should say, what Zach and I wanted to put together for you was kind of a picture of what is about to be started, right? So I'm going to start the Steps to Living podcast. So this is season one, episode one, and to my right of me is Zach. He is currently in sober living. And full disclosure, he signed a waiver. We wanted to do this for the audience, and we just kind of wanted to give the audience a clear picture on exactly what it is like for the addict alcoholic to be away from his family, his loved ones, and to basically have a new lease on life. So tonight's going to be a series of questions, an interview, and it's going to give it's not scripted per se because he doesn't know what's going to be asked. He doesn't know. I kind of wanted it that way, so it can sway whatever way it sways. And to me, here's Zach.
Yeah, good to meet everybody. Um, I'm as excited as you are. So with that, let's jump into it.
So before all this, what did your life look like? What did you love? What were you good at?
Before addiction, um, I grew up outside most of my life in the country. Um, I love sports. I love fishing. I had a dad that taught me how to hunt, taught me how to fish growing up. Um, really, I was an active kid. I spent a lot of time surrounded by family, a lot of time surrounded by friends, and I had a good life. Had a good life.
What did people think of you back then, like as a friend, a parent,
Yeah,
coworker?
yeah. Back then, you know, I became an addict in my early teenage years, but in my younger life, I was a sweetheart, man. Like my mom raised me to be a really like kind, generous, caring person. But people trusted me. People asked for my help, or they would believe in me. You know what I mean? I was reliable. But I was also an honest, like genuine person still.
And that's huge. That's a huge piece.
Yeah.
And there's a double side to everything. There's a double side. There's a double side, like a flip side, I should say, a flip side to everything, like a flip side to a coin, positive, negative, yin and yang, and like an active addiction, you're two completely different people. And if you had to throw any bit of money on it, would you throw any money on it? That you'd be sitting right here today?
No.
Uh, so, which leads me into like, I mean, how it happened, right? So, how did it start? Was there a moment, or did it creep up slowly?
No. I mean, here's one thing I know is the addiction gene does run on my dad's side of the family.
So, you believe it's hereditary?
I I I believe that it can be hereditary. I believe that it can happen not that way, but I believe that it can happen that way because my dad was the youngest of four brothers, and his whole side of the family were alcoholics. My dad never drank growing up. My dad, I never seen him drink once, but my grandfather and all my dad's brothers, all my cousins, that whole side of the family, they drink. And I was surrounded by it, per se, when I was pretty young.
All right.
Um, One thing that sticks out to me is um, we're all innocent when we're younger. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we we grow up young and innocent, and
Yeah. I mean, listen,
it's
I have two daughters, and to
it's
me, they're
usually it's
innocent.
usually when we get influenced by other people and decide to take that first drink or that first hit or however how minuscule it may be or pop that first pill that we do because of curiosity. And for some of us, we do that and it triggers something to where it starts at like a domino effect in our life that we can't really just stop. And most people can just shut it off. They can stop. But for people like us, it progressively gets worse until it completely falls apart.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't think I could answer that any better. What did you tell yourself to explain away what was happening?
Oh man. So I am what doctors would call dual diagnosis. I suffer from, depression, from anxiety. When I was younger, I got bullied a lot as a kid, growing up, and when I first started using, it was an escape, and it became one of those things where um, I kind of didn't like my life, and like when it started out, on the weekends. On the weekends, I'd feel like I could release, or I could like get some relief from the pressure that I'd feel from just the Monday through Friday in school or whatever.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, it started very much like that. I remember, being a very uh, isolation kid.
Yeah.
I'd come home from school, and this is when 15, 16 year old Zach, starting to not be so innocent anymore, but starting to dabble in things. But I would come home and I'd hide in my room, and as my mom is my witness, that's no lie. I mean, I'd close the door and I would play video games, I'd play music, and I would just try to escape.
Escape.
Yeah.
So, for someone who's never struggled with addiction, how would you describe what a craving is actually like? What it feels like physically, mentally? I mean,
Um, feels like you're fighting for air.
mm,
Feels like you're fighting for air, like you're trying to catch your breath.
mm, damn, just like that.
Yeah, just like that.
So, and like, listen, you hear it, right? You hear like the people say, "Just stop." Like, why can't you just stop? What is wrong with you? Is there anything that we could do to make you stop? And it's like, where we at in that time frame?
Yeah, I mean, for me, there was definitely chances when I was younger to try to get a hold of it quicker, but the turning point for me was when I was 19 years old. I ended up getting in a very severe car crash, broke both my arms, and I spent better part of next 6, 7 months on pain medications, and that took off to an opiate addiction. And before that point, I can't really say that I did pain pills that much. I might have tried them once or twice, but it really wasn't my thing. But after that had happened, I became very hooked, and I distinctly remember trying to not let anyone around me know what I was thinking or feeling, because I didn't want them to know like the hold that it had on me, like mentally and physically and just emotionally, like how I'd think about it every second, how I'd want it every second. And I remember trying to hide that from everybody, my loved one, my friends, just because I didn't want them to like see this ugly part of me that I knew was in there and was trying to get out in a way.
Did you even know at that point what was going on, or no?
I don't think so. I don't. I think I was a teenage boy going through hormones and not really understanding life. I had no concept of life. I can say like I am very immature emotionally because of even using. You ever heard the saying how you stop
You stop growing
maturing?
when you
Yeah,
start using.
yeah. The age you stop maturing emotionally when you when you
When you
when you
start
use.
using.
Yeah, and I think
So
that
it's stinted. It stinted
yeah,
your mentality and growth.
absolutely, absolutely. Because if looking back on it now, I've spent the greater part of 17 years being an emotional adolescent, being trying to learn how to feel emotions, trying to learn how to cope with life, because the only way that I've ever known is addiction, really.
Yeah. Hmm. And you feel stuck, huh?
Yeah.
Did you have like the what? How do I go now? How do I proceed now with family, friends? In high school? In high school or out of high school at that time?
In high
In high
school.
school,
Yeah.
17.
Yeah. I ended up getting kicked out my senior year, suspended because I failed a drug test and they ended up catching me with a bunch of pills, kicked me out of school. And at that point, I was on Xanax. That was the big thing when I was in high school, was Xanax. It was weed and Xanax and alcohol on the weekends. And, you know, to the not normal person who struggles with addiction, you know, it really does stem from like the smallest things and can elevate to the most crazy dangerous things every time.
Like life was a movie.
Yeah.
So, what what did you lose, right? What did you lose that still hurts to think about?
Current day.
I mean, like your most hardest thing to lose.
Yeah, I mean, the things that I lost back then aren't even comparable to the things that I realize I've lost now, because back then I didn't give a shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
There was a part of my mentality that didn't care, but at 32 years old, like, if you ask me what hurts me the most about what I've lost, like, at the end of the day, it's always going to be family.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
that's the number one thing in my life that hurts the absolute most, because I've hurt people that loved me. I've hurt people that wanted to see me be somebody. And like it sucks when you let, the people that love you the most down. I mean, it really does. I mean, it's not a good feeling to know that you've lost the trust of family and friends, and you know when something goes missing, everyone's looking at you. And like it just the feelings that come with addiction over the years that people don't realize, it's brutal. It's brutal.
It's brutal.
It's really brutal.
It's brutal. I've been doing this, 10 years and shit. People's family members died because of their addiction,
Yeah.
it's I mean, how many people did we lose over the course of our lives,
Yeah.
on this side of it that could be sitting here today and you don't. I mean, listen, did you ever ask like why you, right?
I think at points in times, yeah, but I think that was a prideful, stupid question. You know what I mean? Like, why me? Like, I chose that path, right?
No, I mean
And
like
this is something my dad tried to hammer home in me many times over the years, is like, you did this, you know?
I was asking in a sense of like survivor's guilt, in a
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. Sometimes, I mean, from the people that I've lost, sometimes I wonder why I'm still here. I
Yeah.
had times in my addiction where I prayed that I wouldn't wake up. I prayed that, I could just stop living, because I was miserable. I was miserable. And people around me died. I had roommates die. I had close friends that to me die. Uh, and then I had some family members die. And it's just like, yeah, yeah, you kind of get that feeling of like, why couldn't it just be me?
And that's what was that. I mean, that was leading up to the next question. Was there a day you almost didn't make it, and what happened? Like, take me through the day.
um,
These
I've
these questions are hard, dude. I'm sorry. I didn't know
Yeah, yeah, no, I mean,
we did it this way for.
I've had multiple close close encounters. I mean, from overdose to a suicide attempt. I mean, I've had some really close calls, and if you never knew me, you wouldn't know that I've been in like 3 extremely severe car crashes that absolutely should have killed me. Um, it's only for me, it's only because of God that I'm still here. And that makes me think when you ask that question of like why me? Like the older I get, the more I think of like why not me? Like how good is it to like show the power of God that I can actually change, that
Mm,
I can actually be put in a position and a
mm,
place like you're like this sober house, and even the job I got and everything, just to elevate me and like get me out of what I'm in
mm.
and to help the people around me. Because at the end of the day, like if I've made it this far, then you damn sure I better be helping people. I better be.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, like, seeing you throughout the day and, like, just being with you this past week since I've been out here, you're a lighthearted guy, you, like, keep things light. And I guess it because it can really get so heavy. Um, and it can,
Mm-hmm.
when you're by yourself, shit, it can get heavy,
Yeah,
and
yeah, but I think Will too that I try to carry my heaviness by myself. I try not to let people into that. It's hard for me to do. That's why I'm an isolation person, and when I isolate, that doesn't always mean that something bad's happening.
right,
It's just kind of how I'm like internally wired. Like I like that time where I can just be me,
yeah,
and but like now I'm learning how to do it sober. So like
yeah,
sometimes it does get heavy, and sometimes that being secluded and alone isn't the best, at times.
because you start leaning back
Yeah,
into yourself. You're
it
now
can,
getting
yes.
sober. You're now starting to see yourself for who you are again, and all these feelings and emotions come crashing back in. I get it. I get it. So who in your life gave up on you, and do you blame them?
I'm not gonna say my mom or dad's given up on me, because they haven't. I think for the most part, my family's they love me and they're still rooting for me. Um, but I think I've had relationships. I had one serious relationship where I was engaged. I was with the girl for almost 7 years, and my addiction definitely made me lose her. And there was a point in time where I saw it in her eyes where she just couldn't keep fighting with me, keep doing the same thing with me, and just being an addict and like the things that I would do. Um, yeah, I mean, and that's not just one single person. There's been plenty of people I'm sure that have just said up the hell with them. But the ones that love me most, the ones that raised me, the mother that bore me, like they're gonna be by my side no matter what. And that's one
Right,
thing I'm so blessed for.
right. So if you can go back and talk to yourself the night everything fell apart, what would you say? That's crazy, dude. These questions. But I'm happy these questions are hard, man.
Yeah, I mean,
I am. It gives our audience a chance to see what this is really hitting for.
I don't know. Um, in a sense, I would tell myself to hang on.
Mm,
And what I mean by that is like if I could have told the younger version of me that like you're about to walk through some of the hardest years ever, like I would tell myself just to hang tight. You know what I mean? Because it's been some close calls, man, and some rocky roads where I've not wanted to hang on anymore.
listen, I'm happy you're here, man. I really am. I'm grateful you're here. I'm grateful you're able to do this with me. You know, we're in this together, and it's definitely uplifting. So, I mean, I guess
Yeah.
it gets a little. I'll give you a hint. It gets a little better. Well, it does, because now this is where like it's the turn. So like, what finally made you decide to make a change?
Oh man, I think honestly, I've matured to that age where it's really either die in this or turn it around. You know, there comes a point in time where I know that I'm at the end of the road, and it's either turn off the road and go the right way, or it's game over. And just that realization and the fact that over the years, the pain of the trauma and damage that I've caused, the people that I've hurt, that sticks with an addict. Like at no point does the addict ever forget the shit they've done. They don't ever forget the people they've hurt. They don't ever forget the words that they've said. And that sticks with you. And I think for me, there came a that point in time. I think it really happened about at the age of 29, where I was like, I just I didn't want to hurt people anymore, and I didn't want to keep hurting myself.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I've seen it, and I think I've said it. I mean, you have you most likely probably have another run left in you. You may not ever have another recovery left
Yeah,
in you.
yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that.
You know, it's like it's the uphill climb, and I think you'll know when you're at the peak to where it's downhill from here. And yeah, that's I think that's where I'm gonna go with that. It's you have another run, right? You have another run. Do we have another recovery? And
Yeah.
that's where you really have to ask yourself.
Yeah, I mean, because it's easy to pick up again, isn't it? It's easy. Like for an addict, it's easy, but it's the stopping again that is the hard
Outside
part.
circumstances, family included, and yeah, it is, and I mean, like, was there a specific moment at Manor Serenity Haven where you felt something shift inside of you?
I think about my second week here, and for me, like, I, this might not make any sense to the audience, but like, this is just my truth. There was a moment where I felt secure, and like, if I could tell you how the last several years, how rocky and unsecure and like stable and safe they've been, it would make sense when I finally got to this place and the house, and really just felt like this this is where I'm gonna grow. This is where I'm gonna build. Like I have a safe place. I have a nice place. I have a place with good people around me. Uh, I have you over me that's gonna lead me in the right direction. I just it was kind of like, like uh, a complete paradigm shift for me. It was like I just felt like I could kind of breathe, but like breathe without having to use. Does that make sense?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Because that
Mm-hmm.
insecurity and that not feeling safe, those are all reasons to, pick up a drink or use.
Right.
And they
No,
were
I
they
know.
were they were
I
for
know.
me. They were for me. And so that moment that I kind of just was like, man, like I can do this here. It was a good feeling.
Tell the audience where we were at last night.
Yeah, yeah. Last night we went to
Project Hope.
Project Hope. We probably Will stood in front of probably, say,
30.
probably 25, 30 people. And I stood on the side, and man, like if
What was it? What was Project Hope?
um, they were they were homeless, and
They were homeless.
they pretty much for the most part were older. I think a lot of them were older. Most of them probably had struggled with addiction at points in their life. Um, And I told Will this after the fact, but I used to work at a homeless shelter when I was 18, and I worked there for a year. And that year of my life, man, like I would put it as like God gave me a heart for homeless people. God gave me a heart for those type of people. And when I was there last night, just that part of me really, I felt like I was back there when I was younger. And it was awesome to be there, man. It was awesome to like just tell those guys about this place, to tell them about what you do, and just like how to like being able to be a testimony and say like, hey, I'm a client there right now, and you know what, like this is working for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it was good. It was good to be able to talk to them and say that and share that.
Because after being with me this past week, and somebody new walking in, would they ever be able to tell that I'm an owner?
I think that they've never probably had a cool, chill owner. Somebody
Yeah.
that you know, is gonna make sure they do the right things, but also like let them kind of come into it on their own.
Right.
And
Yeah.
you know, that's the different dynamic that a lot of other sober houses don't have. You know, when I came in here, I couldn't afford rent right away, and you did nothing but give me a chance to find a job. You gave me time to find a job, and you know, we talked about it. Like, there's guys out there that you know have me my money by this date, or like you're on your ass.
You're out.
You know
You're
what I
out.
mean? And
they don't care. And
they
honestly, they don't care what you do.
They don't care.
Here's your bed. I'll be back Friday. Have my rent.
Right. And
I've had buddies die in houses like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Both male and female.
Yeah. So
that
was good.
Which, I mean, for me was an eye opener to be like, for someone in this position that's opening these houses, I can't. How do I go to bed at night with a conscience knowing that I got people's lives on my hands?
Yeah.
In my hands, I mean. And I tell you, say, have my rent Friday.
Yeah.
What? No.
Yeah, and especially like I'm not from this area. Like, yeah, it's just
nope.
Most of these sober houses out here, and from what I've heard, are rough, man. They're rough. So to fall into the hands of this place, and like I know that this is a God given place. I know that this is a very God ordained spot for especially my life, and even you leading it, you know, and that's important to me to know that I'm where I'm supposed to be.
Exactly where you're supposed to be, and I am. I'm happy to have you. Like you said, you came in here with nothing.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't say that lightly. I don't take that lightly, and I do whatever I have to do for you. I don't do this for me. This is for you, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I'm not one to be like, if you don't have a job by this, that, or my rent, you have to go. I will work with you. And I told the people in the homeless shelter that last night.
Yeah, we did.
We have a safe space for you to come. Whatever you need, it will be there. We'll have it handled. And I appreciate that, though. Thank you. Seriously.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
appreciate you.
What's the hardest part of recovery that nobody warned you
about? Hardest part of recovery is learning how to feel. It's learning how to feel emotion. It's learning how to deal with heartbreak. It's learning how to deal with stress. It's learning how to deal with anxiety. It's learning how to deal with the day-to-day life and not pick up or use.
Have you ever sat in your room and thought, I don't know if I can do this? And what's something right now that's got you up at night?
Do this as in like recovery?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely, man, I've been trying to really get this recovery thing right for like better part of 7.5 years now.
Shit.
I've had longest period in that time, 17 months sober. I've had multiple relapses, then getting sober again, then relapses. I've definitely had moments where I was like, man, can I do this? Can I do this? And I think it got to a point where it was frustrating because I was seeing all these people in recovery that were doing it. And I'm like, why can't I get it? Like, why can't I do it? But, you know, I think there are things that I do wrestle with at night. There are definitely things that keep me up at night. I'm one of those people that if I do something that I know is really wrong, or like um, if I do something to somebody to hurt them, I'm one of those people that will feel remorseful about it to where it eats them alive inside.
Mm-hmm.
Even after I've said sorry, even after I apologized, and you know, it's hard for me because coming into recovery, there are nights where I think of my past and I think of all the stuff that I've done in and out of the years and the people that I've hurt. The number one person for me is always gonna it's always gonna be my mom.
Mm.
It's gonna be my mom and my dad every time, because I haven't hurt anybody as bad as I've hurt them, and that'll eat a person alive, man. It really will. It really will. And I think when you learn to deal with these emotions, and that's what I'm talking about. When you learn to deal with emotions and how to be sober and feel again, that's when you can start letting that stuff go in a way.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't come easy, and it doesn't come overnight.
No, and it's not going to, right? If it came overnight, I think we'd probably take a little bit more advantage. If stuff were to happen overnight, I don't think we'd probably take this piece seriously if we were to
Yeah.
get stuff overnight. But when was the first time you looked in the mirror and recognized yourself again?
Hmm. I think I'm there now,
Mm.
honestly.
Mm.
And I don't mean that. I don't say that just because of this is a podcast. I say it because it's the truth. I really feel in my heart that like I'm starting to learn how to love myself again.
Mm.
And for a person that might not know or isn't an addict, we don't love ourselves.
Mm.
We wouldn't do the things we do to ourselves or the people that love us if we loved ourselves.
Mm.
And I think that like for the first time in a very long time, because I've had that in periods where I've, you know, that 17 months I was in recovery, I thought I was starting to really get um, to knowing who I am again, but then I dropped off again. And I think I'm finally getting back to that point, like where I like who I am,
Mm.
and I want to get to know who I am. I want to know that like the things that I love and the things that I like to do, and I want to start experiencing them again in a way. Because I feel like through my addiction, most of the things that I loved, I stopped loving and I stopped doing it. And I lost all interest in them. And I think when I can get back to that, you know, I went to the lake. I went to the lake today. I went up to, what is it, Highland?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Headlands. Yeah.
Headlands. Yeah, I went up to the lake today, and I walked down to the beach and I just put my feet in the water and I stood there, man. And like it was such a heavy moment. It probably looked crazy to the people around me, but like I don't know, I could have started bawling my eyes out because it was just like a moment like it was very serene, but like such a simple thing. You know what I mean? Like so simple. Just
Mm.
walking to the edge of the water and putting your feet in. But like my life isn't those moments. Like I don't know that version of me. So like to be able to like start doing those things again, like it's unfamiliar, but yet it's so good, you know? It's so good.
That's all. I still never been there. Still never been
Gotta
there.
go, it's nice.
So what's something small that most people wouldn't even notice that feels like a miracle to you now?
Hmm. Repeat it one more time.
What's something small that most people wouldn't even notice that feels like a miracle to you now?
Oh, easy. It's God's hand.
Mm.
And what I mean by that is I can look back over the years and I can see every single point where it is only by by God that I got it out of it or through it or to the next thing. I mean, even looking back to all the overdoses and the attempted suicide and everything that I endured growing up. Um, when you're in it, it's hard to see it, right? It's hard to see it.
Mm-hmm.
And it usually is one of those things where, when you get through it and you look back, and it's like then hindsight becomes 20, and you're like, wow, like, thank you, God. Like, because I can tell you right now, I didn't make it out of those situations. I have a praying mother, I have a praying grandmother, I have a praying father, I have a family that prays, and I know for a fact, because I believe God has told me, but like, I am sitting here today only because of the prayers. At a certain point in my life, I should have died. And I only sit here because of the prayers that have been prayed for me and over me without me even knowing about it. Without me even knowing about it. My mom, she used to tell me how she'd, when I'd be out, well, this was when I was like 18, 19, 20, and I'd be out running the streets at night. Every night I'd be running the streets, and I wouldn't come through the door till like 3 o'clock in the morning, stumbling and high or whatever. And my mom used to tell me how she'd just lay there wide awake. And she'd be praying, you know what I mean? And she'd be worried sick, but she'd still be praying. And like, just looking back on all that, it's easy to see it now. It's easy to see how far I've really come, but not by my hand. It hasn't been my hand that's got me here.
I believe it. I totally believe it. Isn't it crazy? You're from Indiana. I'm from Philly. It's all different walks of life, but we did the same thing.
Yeah.
We did the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. And really, in the end, it's like you put your mom through it. You put, and it's, dude, it is. It's. I think this is the best gift right now you can give her, knowing that she can sleep sound, knowing that you're right. You're right where you need to be.
Oh yeah, peace of mind. Peace of mind. That is huge, and
priceless.
Yeah, it's absolutely priceless.
Priceless. So, all right, here's an uplifting question. What does a good life look to you now?
Ah, man, it's still my number one dream in life. I want to be a dad.
You want to be a dad.
I want to be a daddy.
You want to be a dad.
I want a couple little girls, and I'll be happy. I don't want a little. Well, no, I'd take a boy, but man, he'd probably be like me.
I got two daughters, 7 and 2, and I can honestly say that is the best gift I could have ever received. Just walking through the door and seeing them yell "Daddy" and run right up to you. It's like you can't put a price on that.
Yeah, I don't. It's been a dream in my heart since I was young.
And it brings you back to like your innocence because they're innocent, and you want to protect their innocence, and you want to make sure that you steer them in a way to where they're never going to endure the things that you had to, because you endured it for them. And in a sense, like, how you grew up, how I grew up. My biggest fear, and you can ask me any day, and it's going to be my daughters going through what I went through. Or what you went through, right? Your kids having to go what you went through, in a sense. And
I think that can be scary, but I would love to have kids, and if I did, I would want them to know about my past. I would. It would not be something that I'd hide from my kids.
No.
I would give them the raw, God's honest truth.
No, and I think I would have to. I mean, in a sense, to let them know that this is out there. This is what is at stake. This is what happens. And I mean, listen, I find myself praying now about it. Like, something so sacred, as a bond from a father to a daughter, right? And daughters tend to be daddy's girls. And I'm telling you right now, both of mine are. Both of mine are. So it's like to see that, man, the best gift you could ever receive is having kids, and living through their innocence makes you see the world through a different lens.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So
I mean,
I appreciate
yeah,
I appreciated you
absolutely.
saying that, being a
Yeah,
dad, because it's the God's honest truth.
yeah,
I love it.
yeah,
I love it. I want them to grow up knowing that their dad built something that helped people.
yeah.
You
And not
know,
just that, that you overcame, right?
right over
That
and help
overcame,
people, help people.
you
Mm-hmm.
overcame something that's so hard to overcome. I think that's huge because it speaks characters and volumes of who you are as a person for going through what you had to go through to get to where you're at.
Right, right. Um, so when did you start letting go of the shame?
Oh man, I still let go daily, man. Uh, not gonna lie to you, man. That's a ongoing fight for me, and it's not like I said, it's not one of those things that just happens all at once. I don't just get clean and forget all the crap I've done and all the people I've hurt. It's one of those things that like I have to actively fight it in my mind, and that like there's things that say shame comes against me. There's times I'll spend a week wrestling with one thing in my heart over a certain thing,
Mm,
and I'll wrestle with it, and it will take that time to wrestle with it to be able to like beat it and get
mm,
over it. But I think, at least in the beginning stages of recovery for me, I'm going to be doing that for a little while. I don't
mm.
think it's just going to stop overnight. But
Yeah,
that's the raw reality of the chaos we've created, man.
yeah, yeah. It doesn't get clearer and uncut than that, to be honest with you. It's the truth. Um, so what do you wish people understood about addiction that they usually get wrong?
Uh, man, I think,
This is kind of like where we turn the viewers and the
yeah.
audience to believers in a sense.
Um, I one thing that's been really tough for me on this journey is like when people come along and they are very adamant about you quitting your addiction to the point like where they cut you off, or they completely shut you out of your life or their life. um why can't you just quit? Why can't you just get it right?
Mm,
What's wrong with you?
mm,
That is, in a sense, I would understand why they say that or why they might think that, but um until an addict is finally done, or until he's done with himself or running or hurting himself and hurting others, then he's not ready to change yet. But I don't think that he has the capacity to change until he reaches that end of himself.
mm,
As long as there's that internal battle of, I want to pick up, I want to drink, I want to use, I want to put a needle in my arm, he's not going to be ready to, to recover until he's really ready. Does that make sense?
yeah,
Yeah.
to me, yeah. I think to the audience too. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
What would you say to someone who thinks people in recovery just need more willpower?
Oh man, let me tell you, I'll say this: I have a lot of willpower, and that is no lie. If you guys knew my father and what a great man he is, but he is a very strong individual, and I definitely got his genes. I got his grittiness. I got his tough mentality. Um, and with that, like I am not a I'm not a firm believer that willpower is all you need to recover. I mean, I think it takes a plethora of things to really,
Bring you to your
in a
knees.
sense, recover. And yeah, I don't think willpower. Look, willpower has never been enough for me to just quit. It never has. Willpower hasn't got me sober.
Where would you be if
Yeah,
willpower was all you needed?
yeah, exactly. It doesn't exist. It's smoke and mirrors. It's not realistic.
I wonder how many people have died over somebody in a sense that doesn't know what this is. Like, say, the willpower, and it ate them up in life. That why wasn't willpower it, right? To the point where they saw this to the bitter end and are no longer here with this.
Yeah.
So if someone watching this right now is struggling and too afraid to ask for help, what do you want them to hear?
Hang on.
Yeah.
By the grace of God, just hang on.
Yeah.
And I say that because that's very real to me.
Me too.
Because there were moments in my life where I could barely take my next breath unless I got my fix. And there were nights that I would be withdrawn from alcohol or something, and I'd be shaking, laying there thinking I'm about to die in my bed. And I would just keep trying to hang on until I saw the other side of this. There is hope. I'm a firm believer in the power of Jesus Christ, and I'm a firm believer in hope. And I'm a firm believer that the grass can get greener on the other side. But like the thing about it is it takes work. It takes discipline. It takes like hard freaking work for the addict, because what they're going to go through, they're not going to be used to. What they're going to experience, they're not going to be used to. They're not going to know exactly how to feel. They're not going to know how to deal with emotions in life until they're finally done and they'd have to go through it. And I think it's just one of those things that is very possible. It's very possible for anyone that wants to get sober. It's there. Because there are places like this. There are places like, for me, I went to Teen Challenge that did a great deal for me. There are places that help people, lead them in the right direction. And the course is the course is there to walk if you want to walk it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What do you want someone watching this to actually do differently after hearing your story?
Yeah, man.
By the way, this is the last question. You did great, bro.
Reach out for help. Reach out for help. And you know, there were times and points in my life where all I needed to do was ask for help, but I refused. I wasn't willing to ask for help. For instance, just in my shoes, if I didn't get the chance to come here and you helped me the way you've helped me the last 5 weeks, God knows where I'd be. And you know, there is true freedom on the other side of addiction. But I think that if you try to face it alone, you're facing a almost losing fight every single time. And you what do they say? The opposite of addiction is relationship.
Yeah,
it's
relationships.
It's connections, right? So
the opposite of addiction is connection.
Yeah, get connected. Get people in your life. You know, get people in your life that are going to turn you in the right direction and walk, not just tell you how to walk it, but walk with you. You know what I mean? That are going to take each step with you as you go, and be there, mentor you, help you, console you when you're struggling. You know what I mean? And if you find people like that in your life, then your chances of beating this are way higher. Way higher.
So, I mean, this is the start of the podcast. So, like, Steps to Living is going to be real, uncut, raw. It's not scripted. We're going to have different guests on. We're going to have healthcare professionals. We're going to have the parents of the alcoholic addict. We're going to have other alcoholics addicts on. We're going to have siblings of it. I mean, I just want this to be a real as it's going to get from every dynamic. And That's what I want. That's what I want this to be. So I mean, I think for starters, Zach, thank you. Like you didn't have to
Yeah.
do this. You didn't have to come. You didn't have to come and do this. I asked you, and you said yes willingly, not knowing what any of this was going to be.
Yeah, I got tough there for a second.
I mean, but I appreciate that. I
Yeah.
appreciate the real uncut raw and the emotion behind it, because this is, it's beautiful, but it's hard,
Yeah.
right? It's beautiful, but it's hard. It's beautiful in every way. And I mean, who knows? In a year, we'll have Zach back on, see where Zach is in his current state in a year from now, and where he's led to and where he's going to be. And I think that would be great to see Zach in a year, and we'll film it, whether God forbid something happens and he's back out there on the street, or he's in a better way. But that's I mean, that's what this podcast is going to be about. And
by the grace of God, I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here.
And with that, I'll end.